Alright, welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you're doing well. Today, Opetaia faces Marius Briedis in a rematch. The first fight was in 2022. I think it was in the summer of 2022 when Opetaia won the belt from Briedis. And then obviously, look, he had the belt stripped in his last outing against Zorro. And actually, the belt this time is still, the IBF still haven't made an announcement whether the belt is going to be up for grabs. Maybe they're still in their feelings about what happened in Saudi because they put their foot down. I made a video about that. I didn't have a big issue with it. A lot of people did, but they were just protecting their business. I think, I don't normally protect or like stand up for sanctioning bodies, but it seemed reasonable. It seemed like Eddie Hearn was the one to blame. Nonetheless, this is a great fight. The first fight was a great fight. Opetaia also from the boxing scene page that I read is now in camp with Tyson Fury. I was wondering when he was going to get in camp, and I was wondering if Fury either maybe kept it quiet or just didn't want to deal with him in the first place, because he's a rough guy. He's an amazing fighter. I made a film study about him. If you're interested to see about his style, I'll leave the link up here. But wow, what a fighter! And against Briedis now, he's a different animal. He's a different animal. I mean, you can see in his body language, in his face, in his interviews, and just how far he's come, and the little, delays and injuries and this and that he's had to deal with, and he's been it sounds a bit frustrated, which has pissed him off. But it's made him better, I think. It's just like, you don't want to get on the wrong side of this guy. He seems like a calm, chilled dude, but he's also got that fighter mentality, a proper fighter. He's been fighting since he was young, and he's been reared that way, and his parents have really raised him that way. It's an amazing story. I love it. And he is going to put some work on Briedis. Briedis is a really good fighter. Look, he's a very good fighter, but I would not heavily, but I would favor Opetaia. But there is one thing that I spoke about in the film study, actually, that Briedis was doing that you can do to Opetaia to catch him a little bit, and Briedis picked up on this, and that is with the Opetaia's pendulum step, right? It's a very Eastern European maneuver where you're bouncing in and out. And when you are bouncing and you stop bouncing and you're not punching, right, there's a split second or two where you can get timed, because essentially, you're stepping in on that, and it takes a few milliseconds to either bounce back or to get something going. And Briedis was able to time that several times, and there's something to look out for, because I'm sure they're gonna try to do that even more, because it wasn't till really later on in the fight, Briedis did it once or twice early, but he really started to get the timing down a bit more. So that'll be interesting to see. But again, you're dealing with just a different animal. Opetaia is a different animal now from 2022. He really is. You can just see his attitude, and it's just, I'm so excited to see this guy, take on the top guys. I mean, obviously Briedis was a top guy and he beat him, but I'm talking about cleaning out the cruiserweight division, which he spoke about doing, which he really probably will do and wants to do, and then go up to heavyweight. When you hear fighters talk like that, it warms my heart, because some fighters talk about it, but they don't necessarily mean it. He means it, and that is ambition, self-belief. And it's only good for us boxing fans, because, look, same with, I made a video about Tim Tszyu and Virgil Ortiz, straight away, they're just like, let's go, let's get the fights done. None of this, BS around, like I nearly made a video about Bernard Hopkins' comments on the divas of boxing today, there are some just divas, and they want to do this, and they want the A side, they want to walk out there, they want this color, and it's just like, just fight. Get in there and fight. And when you have just a solid handshake and an agreement to find out who's the best, I think fights get made so easily. They really do. So, and Opetaia is one of those dudes that is just like, yeah, let's go. No BSing around. And that's another massive opportunity. That's a massive opportunity on arguably the biggest fight According to Tyson Fury, it's the biggest fight of the century. Obviously, it's the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Hasn't happened since Lennox Lewis won it. But prior to that, I can't even remember, but Fury was comparing it to Gene Tunney and somebody else, I forgot. I'll put it up on the screen because it was a back in like the early 1900s, I think. Now, Tyson Fury likes to embellish, so, but it's still a massive fight. It's a massive fight, and it's a massive opportunity to get on a great card and expose yourself to the world again, because he, you know, obviously, look, the Zorro fight, he had a sensational knockout, he got a great payday, and that was what I was saying about him getting stripped. I was like, it's all right. It's okay, he gets a massive payday, life-changing sum of money, got a great knockout, probably built his fan base a little bit. Now he's back there, and he's probably going to fight for a belt. I'm not sure what the hold-up is on the IBF as to why. Another thing on that IBF, the stripping of the belt, if you think about it like this, right, if they were to sanction that fight with Zorro, and also Dave Allen, who's a British fighter, and he was in line with me saying, yeah, he should have been stripped, because it's dangerous when you put in a world champion, a killer like Opetaia, against someone that hasn't even fought for a British title. You can get seriously injured, and he did, obviously got dropped and knocked out in the first round. You know, it could be bad. So sanctioning those kind of fights is one thing, but another thing is, like, let's just say, you can never know what happens in a boxing ring. Let's just say Opetaia got injured, right? Can quite easily happen, and he gets injured for a year. Then the IBF have one of their main, you know, fighters and champions sitting out for a while. They would have also lost out if the Briedis fight would have happened. They would have lost out on the money from that. So as a business, they're thinking ahead of, like, oh, what if this and what if that, and obviously Eddie Hearn said, he asked them and they said no, and he still went ahead with the bout. So they probably got, you know, in their feelings about that. But nonetheless, hopefully that will be up for grabs, that fight, and it's more awesome news for us boxing fans, because that's a really good fight. Briedis comes to fight, he really does. He's a tough dude. That was a great fight, the first one. They were hurting each other. Opetaia broke his jaw in 2 places in 2 different rounds, I'm told. That was a surprise to me. I think it was the 9th or the 10th where Briedis caught him with a massive uppercut, and Opetaia still was trying to win the end of that round, and he could barely talk. I mean, this next level savagery, superhuman being toughness. Can you imagine getting cracked on the jaw with an 8-ounce glove, not 10-ounce glove, by a world champion who can punch, and then fighting the rest of the, like, it's just incredible. These fighters are incredible, superhuman beings. I've got so much respect for them. Anyway, that's it from me. I know I look like I'm about to go fishing right now, but it's really cold in New York at the moment. I mean, these heaters are playing up, so you got to wrap up a little bit. But I hope you guys are well. Leave a comment if you have any thoughts on this fight. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. As always, it's got to come from here. I am out of here. Have a great week.